All right, g'day, welcome back to Collectivitis, podcast where we dissect the disease that is collectivism. My name's Pietro, this is Floyd. How you doing, Floyd?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. A little bit of a hiatus. We've sort of been, again, licking our wounds a bit since the election, and I'll be honest, there's been a bit of a lull in interesting things happening. You can always poke and find some stuff. I mean, there was the firefighters levy, which we were going to do an episode on, and then we just couldn't line up our schedules. And there's been the machete ban recently in Victoria as well, which we could maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. But the pressing thing that I thought we definitely want to be talking about that is the recent messy breakup between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, which a relationship that was written in the stars, and potentially it was written in the stars that it would also crash and burn.
How poetic of you, written in stars.
Well, it's a breakup. We're doing the whole analogy that it's a breakup and that they were lovers, and I've already decided.
Yeah. I know. I hope people get the reference. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, right. Yes, but our two star-crossed lovers. Let's refer them as that. It's just a homoerotic episode about Trump and Elon. I've already decided, by the way, that the thumbnail, which if you've clicked on this episode, you'll already know, but the thumbnail is going to be Elon Musk and Donald Trump kissing. So that'll be
that's
fun.
nice. How it's diverse of you.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And it's the power of AI. I generated it with Grok. So it's Elon's own AI that has generated him. Anyway, beside the point. Let's talk about it, right? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, they were best friends. They were talking about how much they were fond of each other and fans of each other and how much they needed each other, and essentially they teamed up to destroy the Democratic ticket for presidency, both Biden and then Kamala Harris, and now seemingly out of the blue to the inattentive observer, apart from sort of a week or two ago when it started bubbling, but seemingly without any notice, they have now fallen out. So, well, I'll let you get your thoughts in, because you mentioned you haven't heard too much about it. And so I was going to go through the story, a little bit of kind of the process of how exactly it happens step by step, and then we can break it down. But did you have any thoughts thus far before I get into that?
Yeah, no, it did. It reminded me of the Frank Zappa quote. I think it's politics is the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex, just because of how it was like it was meant to be on bloody a tabloid or something. It was just, I saw the political establishment go crazy on Twitter. I mean, the actual base of it, I've seen like a tweet from Elon, I've seen a tweet from Trump, but everyone else is kind of just like talking about this as if, the Prince and Kate broke up or something.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I mean, part of it is because there was so much made of this alliance, especially by the media that is still very much against Trump and against the what's the word? The dissenting Republican wing. Like they were calling it that, hey, this is an Elon Musk presidency. This is and that was partly done to put barbs in their relationship. Like, they have been trying to prod and poke at this relationship for a while because it's obviously very strong, right? If you think about the context of both
what was very strong.
Yes, sorry, was very, and not strong was very powerful, let's say. Like, not strong as it was hard to break. It was very powerful as in it had power. Because if you think about the context of those two men specifically, regardless of their flaws, of which there are many in both cases, but Donald Trump was responsible for breaking apart the political spectrum in 2016 and going against the grain of both the Republican establishment that wanted to have Jeb Bush or whoever run some other mainstream moderate, and then breaking apart the media circle and the Democratic Party by destroying and making a fool of first Hillary Clinton, then Joe Biden, then Kamala Harris, and essentially posing this third option of, hey, you don't need to be a shit Republican, you can be America first and you can follow me and all of that. Elon Musk, kind of in tandem with that, broke apart the social media conglomerate that was Twitter and Facebook and all of these hand in hand with the government organizations. He broke it apart by purchasing Twitter, and then the pressure he put on, like he's the reason why Mark Zuckerberg came out and he wants to de-censor Facebook, and he apologizes for all the harm that he did, and he's kind of on trying to do a redemption tour now after being a simp for the government for so long. Together, like, both of them have had a massive impact in sort of freedom of speech and freedom of options and freedom of choice. With regard to how they broke up, the story goes something like this. So it starts with the big beautiful bill, Trump's spending bill that he's just rammed through. Immediately, the people who opposed it were your Rand Pauls, your
Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey. Every name that I'm trying to think of right now is slipping from my mind. Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and there's a couple of others.
History forgets the good people, so that's why.
That's right. I mean, we don't. We only know them, but they, yeah, I forgot. Massey, Thomas Massey. I don't know why. Right now, his name's just not sticking in my head. It should. So they came out and opposed it, and Trump immediately started threatening and talking to those guys specifically, like talking about primarying them to get them to fall silent and to fall in line. And he's, it's his ego and his blustering, because for him, the big beautiful bill is him being successful and fixing everything and all of that. Elon Musk, who had idealistically and very naively probably gone into this thing thinking that all of the Malay-style slashes that he was seeing in Argentina, and that Trump was kind of riding on the wave a little bit as well, because there is a massive desire among the American public to do these sort of cuts and slashes to government and bureaucracy and the swamp. Elon Musk thought that Trump was actually going to do this. Trump in 2016 didn't do anything about draining the swamp other than saying it and then surrounding himself with the swamp. It seemed like this time round he would be better. In actual fact, he might be good on a couple of things. There are a couple of things that might come out of Trump's presidency that are good. For example, stopping the support of Ukraine and not going to a World War III with Russia. That is a good thing. We can't just discount that and pretend that it's nothing. Although, when it comes to spending, when it comes to those big issues, he is horrendous. The big beautiful bill is not just an admission of defeat, it's pretending there was never even a battle and just going along with the status quo and expanding the debt and not even pretending to try and stop this cycle of spending and taxing and debt and stealing from the American public and pretending that it's for their own good. He is, whether he knows it or not, and I think he must know this on some level, he is lying through his teeth and stealing from people, and continuing the process of stealing from people and using his popularity to do it. Elon Musk understandably didn't like this. And so Elon Musk, it started with, it's all an internet feud. We've seen it all. It's beautiful because because with the freedom of speech that comes with Twitter, we get to view it all in real time and nothing gets censored. So it starts with Elon Musk calling out the big beautiful bill, saying that everyone should be calling their local representative and asking them, abusing them for voting for it or telling them to vote against it, and supporting Thomas Massey and Rand Paul and saying these guys are great and what they're doing is very America first, etc., etc., etc. And Elon Musk, you can see why he did that. Like, he is well within his rights to, as someone who naively thought he was going into this administration and assisting this administration to actually fix the debt and fix the spending disaster that America is heading towards. He thought that this was the goal, and so he felt betrayed. And so he's asked this. I don't think that's out of turn. I don't think that's out of line. Trump, in his ego, can't have... as soon as anyone even is perceived as attacking him, he has to attack back, and he has to come back with an even bigger hammer. And Trump's, I think, started the end. He accelerated the whole thing to the point of no return, in that he then accused Elon Musk of knowing everything about the big beautiful bill, being completely on board with it, until he found out that they were cutting electronic vehicle subsidies, and therefore Elon Musk would lose money through Tesla, essentially accusing Elon Musk of having no principles at all and only doing it because of his own bottom line, and not caring in the slightest for the American people, just wanting to siphon money out. And it was the fact that they weren't giving any more money to Tesla that made him call the whole thing out. That's a massive bombshell from Trump. Like, that is he's accusing the man who arguably, or maybe not so arguably, got him elected, because Elon Musk's support was massive for Trump in defeating the Democrats, regardless of who those Democrats were. He's accusing him of having absolutely no morals, being a liar, and nothing but a government crony, which is supposedly everything that Elon Musk stands against. And if it's not true, this is just about the worst thing you can do to Elon Musk. The worst thing you can call him is tarnish that reputation, and it's a spit in the face. Thoughts thus far, before I continue the tale?
I wonder, we're seeing all of this kind of play out on Twitter, and what are you seeing in the power play outside of Twitter in the private spaces? I think that's where I'd love to just be a fly on the wall and see what was happening there between the two of them. But yeah, no, I think it's interesting just to see Trump's, almost like his power base crumble. And what's going to happen after this? Who does he have to go to, or who's he going to align to next to kind of keep doing what he needs to do? Is he going to go to the Republican establishment? The what is it? The rhinos. Are they going to be his people now? Is he losing this support of the more? I'm not going to say, because you've always got the always Trumpers, and you've got the MAGA movement that's always there. But there's kind of this other element that Elon brought in. Is he going to lose that? I've noticed people recently on Twitter just giving Trump a lot of shit, and I don't think he would have seen that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that this happening is going to hurt both of them in terms of what they can do, because Elon Musk's base and Trump's base and the legitimacy of the message they have is getting very much divided now by the fact that they're dividing their fan base, right? There's lots of people who will now turn against Trump because he's done the worst imaginable to Elon. You sort of can't. I mean, you can still like both and acknowledge both and follow both, but if their number one enemy right now is the other one, it's difficult to reconcile. So there's that. In many ways, this hurts Elon more than Musk than Trump. Elon more than Musk hurts Elon Musk more than Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's not got another term to run for anyway. His popularity actually does not matter in terms of what he can achieve. Obviously, his popularity is very important to him, but he's buying popularity anyway with the big beautiful bill. Like, he's buying popularity from the normies who don't realize that this is devastating and going to destroy America. Elon Musk has every intention of continuing to fight the good fight, whether it's through government or not through government, now that he has been alerted to the fact, because Elon Musk, you can't argue, you have to acknowledge rather, that he has gone through he's going through essentially like the libertarian awakening over the last few years. Whether he would call it libertarian exactly or not, he hasn't. I don't think he's necessarily used that word, but he's gone through the awakening that the government is a lying organization. It steals, it robs, it's accelerating towards disaster, and the reason it's doing this is because people in power are filling their pockets and lining their pockets while they can at the expense of whatever, and when the inevitable crash happens, you can't blame any one person because everyone is complicit, and they hope that they have enriched themselves and their friends enough to survive the crash. And the average person has no idea that this is happening, and the media lies on their behalf, and wars are fought on this behalf, and this whole idea that everything that we're told, or a lot of what we're told, is a lie in favor of allowing the status quo and the government to go on unrestrained. Elon Musk is realizing this. He has realized this, right? Elon Musk still thought that he could, as naive early days libertarians do, still thought that he could destroy or fix this broken system from the inside and repair the damage they're doing. And if I just tell the truth, people will come round and good congressmen will come round and Congress will support me and whatever. We can fix this from the inside. We can go back to an old school classical liberalism America. And he thought Trump was his ally in this. He is now realizing that that is not the case, and he feels betrayed and broken. And to continue the story of Trump and Elon's disastrous divorce, the next step after Trump called out Elon and said that he wasn't doing this for all these altruistic reasons, which if you've been following Elon, you would have to suspect this is a massive lie on Trump's behalf, because Elon has been awoken to what's been happening. Elon responded by saying that the reason that the Epstein files haven't been released is because Trump is on them. And what a fucking bombshell. To say, oh, you think I'm disingenuous in wanting to take money for myself? Well, you're a child rapist, and you're hiding the fact that you're a child rapist, and you're letting other child rapists get away with this because you yourself are a child rapist. Okay, so that I don't think there's any coming back from that. I think their relationship is forever destroyed, and it does feel like, and I think that's why all the analogies to the messy breakup ring true, is because if you've ever been in one, or if you've ever been around one, like if you see your friends going through a really messy breakup, and as it's happening, like they are saying the most vile shit imaginable and throwing each other under the bus in the most vile ways, trying to win like the court of public opinion, whereas all your friends are looking at you like, Jesus Christ, just shut the fuck up, stop doing that. Like a week ago you were pretending to love each other, and now you are saying the most vile, unimaginable shit to try and impress us. Like, we're disgusted by both of you, and that's what it feels like. Like, they're not only airing their dirty laundry, but they're, like, exaggerating the dirty laundry to an extent that now, I mean, I'm sure the Democrats are dancing and partying as they see this occur, because they had no legs to stand on after this coalition, and now it seems like they are just as broken as the Democrats are. Thoughts?
Yeah, to me, it almost, just based off what you said about the Democrats partying for it, it almost highlights the idea of the right and how they just can't keep their dirty laundry, in the washing basket. They always love just bringing it out, and exactly bringing it to the court of public opinion. I need to be right. I don't know. Maybe it's just because people on the right, they have bigger egos. They're generally people that want to achieve something, or they're business people essentially. So they need to be the one that comes out on top. They're just it's the whole macro of that. It's just, let's win it because fuck this other person, because you're either with me or against me. I think in Trump and Elon's case, it goes a lot higher. I mean, we're talking like the top of the United States administration here. But yeah, it's fascinating as far as just them coming out and doing it against each other. And I wonder, maybe the slave at Epstein's Island was 18 and it was okay for Trump. Who knows? But
so they were just a slave. They weren't underage. So it's
exactly. He's okay because slavery's existed since the beginning of time. So that's fine. But
I mean, so has probably child rape. Like,
yeah, true that. Unfortunately, yeah. Oh, that's just one thing I did want to ask. Do you reckon that the MAGA people and the pro-Trump people, they're going to go from Twitter to Mastodon and mix with the left and have a really interesting conversation over there?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Twitter will face any repercussions for this because, that's where you have access to arguing with the Musk and Musk people. Like they're going to continue, and it's also where you have freedom of speech. So I don't see the Trumpers leaving it on a basis of on a moral, ethical basis.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump had that deal with Truth Social where like he was there for however many years while he was banned off Twitter, and that never caught on. Like no one's on Truth Social, really, because there's no debate, there's no argument there. It's an echo chamber, and I think it's more enjoyable. Like politics is more fun when you're arguing with the other side, as we all know, and as
well, you're a libertarian. You don't like it when you're arguing with other libertarians. I mean,
no, that's unpleasant because that.
Oh, really?
Less of that. No, actually, I do. I enjoy that as well. To be honest, but yes. So I don't think there'll be any fallout from that. The issue that I would be more concerned with is like. I very, very, very much like the direction that Elon Musk is taking. I said in 2022, not on the podcast because I hadn't started it yet. I started it later that year, but to people earlier on in the year, you can ask people. I'd said that Elon buying Twitter was like the most libertarian thing that's ever happened in my lifetime. And it's true. It was like when you think of breaking open the conversation and breaking open the power balance, like that was during... in the end of COVID, in the end of the COVID mass censoring destruction of anyone's platform or of opinion and the ability to cancel people, all of that was overnight overturned, and he broke it apart, and that's what you need. You need wealthy elites that have opinions in the right place, and Elon Musk wasn't there yet at the time, but I think he is coming in that direction. It also needs to be said that we should have all been able to predict that Elon Musk would become libertarian by how autistic Elon Musk is.
Yeah, true that.
Like, if you look at if you're ever in a crowd of libertarians and the autism is rife, you can smell it, you can definitely hear it. And if I had like read what Elon Musk had written and like seen reports on him and like knew what he was doing before I saw him ever like speak publicly. And I remember I saw him on Saturday Night Live, and I was like, "Holy, he is! Oh wow, he has some autism to deal with." And not that there's anything wrong with that, but like it's very apparent in how he talks and his mannerisms and how he like his social cues and his dancing weirdly in public. Like he is strange, which suits libertarianism. So I think he'll only become more and more libertarian as time goes on. Anyway, I forgot my point. I was on I like the direction that Elon Musk is going, and I think hopefully this continues. Elon Musk has the problem now, which I think he's maybe not considered as seriously as he should, is that he has built up just about the two most powerful enemies that you can have, right? Like the intelligence agencies and the US government under the control of Trump, and then like the deep state establishment that he's trying to overturn of like the banks and like the vested interest, the military industrial complex. Like he has now turned against himself, both like the deep state and the current administration that wields the power in Donald Trump, and in very, very visceral ways. Like there are, I don't know how many countless of trillions of dollars, which would be given directly into benefiting people if Elon Musk disappeared, right? Like you can imagine how much easier it would be to push government contracts, to push crony contracts, to push legislation, to push bills, spending bills like this, if Twitter's free speech platform disappeared and Elon Musk's voice against this elevating other voices such as Rand Paul and Thomas Massie disappeared. He's just about the most famous person in the world, barring Trump now. That's powerful. And he has turned himself against the system, kind of in a reckless, childish way, like the slinging mud Epstein Island thing. Which, I mean, we can discuss whether we think that's true or not, but it is definitely a dangerous move on Elon's part. And I don't know. They almost assassinated Trump. It was a bee's dick away from killing Trump. They could do that to Elon.
True that. I think Elon as well, he's seen what unregulated capitalism looks like, what running a business without regulations could be. And that's how I think he's come on to that more libertarian mindset of like, well, wait a second, like I don't have to operate in this world of government contracts and everything. If this doesn't exist, then I can run a better company, and do what I'm looking to do a bit more. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where he goes. And also with Elon, I think he really sacrificed his public opinion, like what people thought about him, because I know that there were packs of people on the left loved Elon. He provided electric cars. He did well for the world. He was kind of like this philanthropic figure. And now he's just an evil, Trump supporter. He's just an evil, fascist. So,
yeah. I mean, from Elon's point of view, like my kind of, it's not my thesis, my summary of Elon's worldview, I think comes from like, he sees himself as this like genius pioneer, which in many ways he is. And he sees like the problem of the human race being that at some point we've got to colonize the stars. Going back to that star-crossed lovers metaphor. So he sees like, okay, to colonize Mars, to reach the stars, to whatever, venture into space, we need technology to be flourishing. We need the best minds to be able to put all their work and all their resources into the best things and to be all pushing in the same direction. Otherwise, this doesn't happen. And so vested interests and corruption and the massive overwhelming taxation of the state against the people and this destruction of prosperity and business and this like rotting from the inside out of the wealth of a country, of Western nations all around the world, is very much against that. Right. So once he became aware of these like impediments, so at first obviously he made his wealth through Tesla and through government subsidies.
And let's not forget the Twitter mafia. People don't like to talk about that. Yeah.
What's the Twitter mafia? We'll take a detour.
Well, Twitter mafia, it's a group of essentially just technocrats who the PayPal mafia. Sorry, not the Twitter mafia. They all got into PayPal. And then they've kind of branched out into the tech world, and people question whether what they do is good or not.
Right.
But no, he did make a pretty coin on PayPal. Fact check me on that one, but I'm pretty sure that was the case.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and whether PayPal, like the electronic vehicle subsidies, is where he made his fortune. I'm pretty sure. Like the fact that he got government contracts to push Tesla, and then now Tesla's become this super popular until recently. Brand. And so, like, once he realized all of this and sort of saw that this rotting from the inside is what's destroying the country, he set his sights on, okay, well, it can be fixed, right? The people want it fixed. The people are suffering. It's just this pesky government in the way. It must be overturned. And who's the vessel through which we can do this? If not the man who talks about draining the swamp and who has been betrayed by his own CIA and his own FBI and his own government and his own media and like the behind the scenes powers of his own country, and he talks about doing the right thing for the little people. So you can see why this has gravitated towards itself. And so in Elon Musk's path, he never foresaw the possibility that it would be that Trump was being disingenuous about actually draining the swamp. Because, and this is my thesis on Trump, this actually is my thesis because it's just my opinion, is that Trump would as much as Trump rails against the mainstream media and like the fake news and all of that, Trump would very much like to be, if given the choice, if you could press a button right now and have the choice, and if he pressed the button, he would be adored by the media. He would be a completely status quo president. He would be another Barack Obama, same level of popularity of Obama at his peak. He would finish his 8 years and have the legacy of having been this incredible president that did such and such for so many people, and Donald Trump is a hero and everything, and the media lauds him. If he could press a button and have that reputation and have that occur, he would do it. He's only against the media because they deemed him unacceptable. He's only championing the forgotten people because that's his pathway to success. And you can see that in the big, beautiful bill, which helps none of the people that he supposedly champions. You can see that on January 6th when he completely abandoned his supporters that went into the Capitol peacefully and got arrested and thrown into solitary confinement for months, if not years. He, above all else, wants to be remembered as this titan of business, which then became this philanthropic, heroic, all-American national hero president, and then that's his legacy. He cares more about that than anything else. And so, yeah, he would press that button. And when you see things through that lens, what Trump does makes sense, because he'll say the right things when it's the path that'll lead him to popularity or to victory. He will do the wrong things. Let's look at another example. COVID. He did all the lockdowns, and he was Operation Warp Speed on the vaccine, and he criticized governors for opening up too quickly, and then he criticized governors for opening up too slowly. Like, whatever the popular path to victory was, whatever the segment of society that had the most votes available that no one was speaking for, he would take at any given point. And it just so happens that after, years and years and years and years, and president after president of this establishment which continually throws away the middle class and the working average middle American, not connected to government, not government employed, not connected to government through some sort of crony method, they are the majority of people in America and probably in Australia, right? And so they happen to be the ideal base for Trump. That's why he champions the things that he champions, and that's why he won't, in any substantial way, change the direction of the debt and the deficit, because it's just impossible for him to do that and maintain the legacy that he wants to have.
And I think as well, Trump, a businessman, he saw a gap in the market there. There wasn't really anyone appealing to the people who he wanted to appeal to. I watched the documentary that was on Netflix about him. And yeah, he had a score to settle with the Democrats too. So, he's this man guided by his ego. Rightly so. I mean, he's achieved quite a bit. So, you'd think that'd lead you. So, yeah, he wants his score to settle with the Democrats. He sees that there's this open demographic. Hey, let's go for that. And because if I'm a Republican, then all the other Republicans who just vote Republican for the sake of, not Democrat, will come on and join me too. And, yeah, he had a chance and he fucking took over the world. So...
Well, he did and he didn't. He took over the world and was hampered and couldn't do anything, and now he's taken over the world and won't do anything. So what's the point of taking over the world if you're just going to keep it running in the same... Like, has he taken over the world? Really? Like, I don't know.
If you're a king, you're still a king, Yeah,
but he's a puppet king. Well, it would seem he's a puppet king. I don't know whether
he's still a king in his eyes.
Yeah,
and history's going to remember him as a king.
That's right. Yeah. For him, the most important thing is being president, the president. So look, I guess that's the story of Elon Musk and Trump's breakup. Obviously, there's lots of funny asides now. If you like, look on any reels on any app, like there's loads of humorous takes on their breakup and how it's dispelled into the public. I think one of the funniest ones was that Kanye West posted a tweet saying, "No, don't break up. Stop fighting. I love you both." He's like the child of a divorce that's been that can't stand his parents fighting, and he wants them to make up because he loves them both so much and he can't choose. And I'm sure that's how a lot of people are feeling right now, is the way that Kanye West is feeling. Because they, as I said earlier, they were powerful together, not necessarily strong. They were powerful together, and they will be less powerful apart. So yeah, that's the story of Trump and Elon's messy divorce.
What is your opinion on Trump and Elon? Comment below.
Yeah,
Let us know.
What do you think? Have we gotten anything wrong on Trump and Elon's divorce? Do you think they could get back together? Because I've seen a lot of look, and before you cut off, I've heard a few different takes on this sort of thing, as well. Like Topher Field, which we're big fans of. He did an episode essentially breaking down why they have broken up. And his thesis is that they essentially Trump is on like this flat line of fixing government, and Elon's on this radical line of becoming a libertarian, and they briefly intersected in the moment where the presidency was happening, but now Elon's outgrown Trump, and I think that is probably Topher being far too charitable about Trump's actual intentions to cut government and to fix things. Topher does tend to be an optimist. I've heard and I like all sorts of other theses and stuff about the true nature of the two breaking up. But yeah, do you, dear viewer, disagree with what we've said? Do you think they can get back together again? Mm-hmm. I think that's it, that they won't. I think they'll stop talking about each other. I think they'll... The first thing I saw was Theo Von had JD Vance on his show, and JD Vance is actually probably the biggest loser out of all of this because he is the heir apparent to Trump. So JD Vance is probably the person who is most likely to take over the MAGA movement. He's positioned himself well to do so. He's actually been pretty good on a lot of things. He's been the one to talk down, if you believe the secret signal group where they accidentally put in the like the Wall Street Journal guy somehow, and they were talking about blowing up other countries, and JD Vance was the only one talking them down a little bit. Not even Tulsi Gabbard was talking them down in that group chat. So JD Vance has positioned himself well to take over Trump's role. He confronted Zelensky in the Oval Office and all of that. And he loses the most out of this because he's, Musk is now positioned against him. I think he retweeted the episode he did with Theo Von with a lol as the quote, and he loses all of Elon's support now if he continues backing Trump's administration, or he loses Trump's support. So he's between a rock and a hard place, and Trump doesn't care because it's his last term anyway. Anyway, yeah, so do you agree? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Dear viewer, dear commenter. That was the question. All right, well, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I think we've talked about it, so let's see what happens. And
cool, we'll do. We will keep you updated as time goes on. Now, we will talk about some of the local stuff in the future. There is stuff happening. I know that John Roddick has put through a bill just recently for self-defense, the right to self-defense and gun laws. So,
good luck.
Yeah. It's no surprise that I can already predict. I can already give you the outcome of this. But let's see if any interesting conversations come out of this. That's the next topic that we cover.
It's an ambitious shifting of the needle right there, or attempt to shift the needle right there.
Especially with the Australian public. And I don't know yet the angle of it. I'll be honest. I'll confess I haven't watched his speech on it yet. But in the wake of the machete ban and the calls for the machete ban here in Victoria, and the resounding popularity of doing something, he's going to say, the machete ban is wrong and we should have guns back. I think the Australian public is unfortunately far too brainwashed to have that conversation yet, although maybe there is an appetite for it, and maybe that's what he awakens. And I do think that Roddick has had a really good instinct for targeting the unheard voices. He kind of does the Trump thing, but actually probably means that he just doesn't. He's not the king, unfortunately. Roddick is not the king. He's just a lowly member of the upper house in New South Wales.
Yet, anyways.
Yet, that's right. So stay tuned here, and we may make him a king. All right, thanks so much for watching and listening. If you don't already, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, or X, as Elon Musk would prefer. You can call it Twitter if you are a Trump fan. If you can call it X if you're an Elon Musk fan. Go ahead, argue in the comments. It's always more fun that way. As I said, I do like arguing, so if you disagree with anything I've said or Floyd said, let us know. Or if you agree, we would love to know as well.
Yep.
And we will catch you next time.
Stay up.